Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I want to walk you through the steps and processes and a journey of building a startup using Productized OS Framework. So by now, we know that the Productized OS has 6-stage framework, but we need to know, let's say when it comes to ideas, there are details to it that, let's say you have an idea or you're looking for an idea. So there are different methods and methodologies that we can use and leverage in this business. So one thing I want to walk you through is that I started developing this journey I think started in 2019, documenting basically what it works, what doesn't work, and also consider different types of businesses as well. And what you're looking at, and I want to walk you through a step by step, has evolved over times. It's something that I'm sure will evolve from now on as well as the new technologies emerge. AI becomes more mainstream, and there are local AIs, there are private AIs, and all those angles would open up opportunities and will actually allow this framework to morph into something more comprehensive. But let's get started with founder DNA. Basically, at the very beginning, we wanted to make sure that the idea that we choose, whether it's your idea or you join a team as a co-founder or someone, you build a team, some people will join you to build their startup. You want to make sure that you have a good foundation in terms of DNA, founder DNA, if it's a good match, what are your gaps? And if it is something that you really, really wanted to build, but you don't have that level of expertise, how you can overcome it. For example, myself, I'm building right now a startup called Humanic. It's in podcast creation. And I never had a media background. I work with a lot of people in the media, but myself, I never experienced that side of, business when I build different types of media or podcasts to become a producer. So those are the gaps that I do realize, but I have solutions for those. I have partners for those that would help me to actually fill the gap. So these are the things that we're going to learn. Now, next stage is where we wanted to focus on whether you have validated ideas yourself or you basically you're looking for external ideas that you could pick based on the market potential and, of course, matching your founder DNA. But one thing is very important is the fact that people who are working at a company, employees of the company, have a very good advantage right now in this age and time that AI is mainstream. And the reason is that now that everybody can build the startups or products or apps, you name it, the advantage goes to people who have deep exposure in a business and involvement in a business. And one of the best opportunities is being employed by the company, because you get the chance to basically see the customers, the relationship between sales, product development, the whole backstory. You need to know how this particular customer or business is actually making money, and that gives you the exposure of what are the gaps. And a lot of times people, businesses are so involved in working on a day-to-day business that they do not have time and energy to basically go and create sub products that would even optimize their own main process. And that's your opportunity. For example, when I was working at Amazon, I joined a very brilliant team, and we were just overwhelmed with so many tickets from the whole North America, fulfillment centers. There were robotic issues, there were conveyor issues, there were, all sorts of electronics and programming and, machineries that when I joined, I didn't know all of them. And certainly I was not expert at any of them. But I was just being flooded with tickets and self calls during the night. And it was just pissed me off that, I was supposed to solve something 2,000 miles away in a facility that I'd never been. And I've just trying to kind of listen to a call that people describing the symptoms and being, finding a solution to that. And the time is ticking. And this is something that, Amazon is a very, fluid business. If you just don't deliver and solve a problem as soon as possible, it would accumulate and it becomes a bigger problem. Now customers are receiving the packages late, and there are all sorts of problems. So in order to do that, because I had the exposure to that business, that seeing, I was no longer somebody who buys on Amazon only. I was seeing what's happening on the back end. And one of the opportunities that I saw is that there are certain vendors throughout the full Amazon network, meaning, for example, a vendor is selling a machinery to a conveyor belt to, let's say, Amazon in Colorado. It's selling the same in Los Angeles, the same in New York. And I came up with the idea that if I could basically access all the troubleshooting notes from all those businesses, chances are on those fulfillment centers, the chances are that my problems that are happening here are actually solved somewhere else. And it gives me a better hint. So I built a tool, and we won Amazon Hackathon competition, by the way. And this tool would actually listen dynamically to the conversation on the call and would pick up like the sources of similar solutions that happen somewhere else. So we could take a look at it and come up with solutions. And just so you know, the very first year we deployed this project in Amazon, it saved $50 million in just December alone. And that was a very, very interesting experience. And that I gave you that so you could take a look at the business that you are working on and just try to paint a bigger picture at what is happening and how can I come and innovate as an entrepreneur, because you have entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Entrepreneur is somebody who's working in a company and can take a look at everywhere and find opportunities. So if you are working in that, you have a very good chance of coming up with a solution that could turn to a startup that even being acquired by your employer. There are complexities to this we'll talk about later, but I just want to give you an example. So whether you come up with an idea yourself or basically find a validated idea, we want to make sure that we go through the validated process. Even if it is validated in terms of the market, you're going to validate it based on your founder DNA as well. So once we go through that and you come up with the idea that you're genuinely interested and motivated to work on, you either have co-founders or yourself, and you're determined to build it, and all the signals are there as well, then you wanted to make sure that you will pick a topic or idea to own. Okay, I'll explain what does it mean. So for example, I own Productized OS, right? Productized OS is a framework to help people turn ideas into startups. That alone is something that I can go after and, create more content about it and introduce it. So you're going to come up with an angle of your startup that you can own on the internet, and you're going to trademark it, and everything, every content we create, every information we create would go around that universe. So now that we're here and we know what we're going to after, what we're going to do, we're going to create a community. We're going to start attracting people who might be our customers or might help us actually find customers, meaning that we'll start posting daily, or personal recording videos. And I will walk you through technologies and tools that will do it for you automatically, because the whole process is supposed to be AI powered, and we're going to do that. So if you're someone who's, not comfortable creating content like I was, don't worry about it. We're going to automate the whole process. And it's just a matter of finding your ICP, ideal customer profile, and, your tribes that could help you basically reach out to your goals. And once we do that, we do it through email marketing, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, short form, long form content. And also we're going to create a community. Community are people that you constantly can serve and you engage with and get feedback. It is super important to have a community. And I have a actually very interesting surprise for you, that when it comes to the community, there are tools that you can get, Circle, School, or other platforms, but we will provide you with a platform that comes with all courses built in. So The purpose of these courses is it works as a magnet for your ICP. So if you are teaching, let's say somebody in, I don't know, cybersecurity, industry, and you hope that you will get customers in cybersecurity. So we're going to populate the whole platform with courses that's related to cybersecurity, templates, all those stuff. So it would be more interesting for attracting those ideal customer profiles. And once we do that, we're going to create an offer for consulting. All right. So this is one of the very, I would say, important steps in building your startup. Very important. A lot of people have this idea in mind, including myself. I used to, that I come up with an idea and I'm going to build a software and I go to market and I'm going to be a millionaire. Like a lot of people buy my product. But the reality is that the best way to build a startup is through starting through something that is not scalable. Because startups, what are startups? Startups are scalable solutions. So if you wanted to build something that's a scalable solution, you have to start by creating a consulting offer. And the reason for that is we wanted to find one person in your ICP. If you're working with lawyers, okay, you don't want to target all the lawyers. You want to target one of the lawyers and that you could actually build the relationship with. And you can offer free consulting. Say, hey, I'm expert at this. I'm going to come and help you with the challenges that you have. And I'm going to solve it for you. But in return, I want your feedback, constant feedback, relationship that we can go back and forth and I optimize it for you, but I want to collect data for my product, and they really appreciate it too. So what happens is, what we do is we create an offer and then we partner with your ICP and we provide feedback. Like I said, we collect feedback from the ICP. And once that solution, the consulting, is good enough and say, oh, that addresses my problem right now, what we're going to do, we're going to productize it. All right. That's the name Productized OS, because productization is basically the missing link between my, consulting and a startup offer. That's a link that's missing. And a lot of people actually quit their startup right at this moment because they can't generate money. So what we're going to do, we're going to build the productized consulting. And what does that look like? Let's say this is an example, the exact example that I did myself. So I used to, let's say, help startup founders who wanted to migrate to, let's say, other countries, do it through a startup visa. And that was through Canada startup visa program, which required business plans, all sorts of documents. And at the beginning, I helped lawyers to basically provide writing their business plans, right? It was a very time-consuming thing, but I got enough feedback from people. And once I did that, I created an agent that would write the whole business plan. Once the user provides the data, input data, it would write the whole business plan for them. I'm talking about 40, 50 pages of document with graphs and everything. And even just so you know how important it is, building that right now in August 2026 is not possible with ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. The context that you require, the type of the coordination, the templates, the graphs is not something that you can give ChatGPT and come up with the business plan. And that's your opportunity, because a lot of people think that, I give it to AI and AI will produce that for me. But there are, when it comes to production and, a very high-end outputs that would be judged by, sensitive industries, it is not an easy thing to do. And building a productized version of that, which is, we leverage AI agents to do that. I'll teach you how to do it, would actually solve that problem so beautifully. And just so you know, this is, again, very important. At this stage, Productized Consulting, I have built a business with a 7-figure revenue only at this stage. We're not talking about going and, creating a software, a platform. All those things are good, but they're not required. A lot of businesses would pay you premium just to solve the problem they have at this moment and right now. And that's something that AI agents can deliver. So I want, hopefully, I could change your mindset about startups. That startups are not always fancy platforms, complicated platforms, a lot of requirements of coding and stuff like that. It's not. Startups, as long as it is something that is basically scalable to some level, and it does not require you to sit down and do it all the time like a consulting, it would generate you enough money to actually even quit your job like I did. And this is something important to consider. So once we have that productized consulting version, which is the AI agent that does deliver exactly the output that our ICP agreed and confirmed it's good, what we're going to do, we're going to find 10 more ICPs. Like what we find a lawyer, now we find 10 offices and we present the productized version of the solution. We're not offering consulting. We offer productization version, productized version, and we would say, hey, I work with your competitor in the industry and we provided a solution. And this is the review, by the way. Are you interested to have a demo? And I would say once you get to this stage, a lot of people would pay a good amount of money because they just wanted to get the more volume of customers that don't want to get bogged down with, internal processes, training a staff and all of that. And it is a very, very good opportunity right now. So once we get customers, like 10 paying customers, we're going to, again, collect feedback. It's a loop. Collect feedback from them because demands of, let's say, one office might be different. They might have some customization that the other office don't have. So we're going to make sure that once we collect the information, we're going to improve our productized OS version of the business based on the ICPs. And now you're asking why 10? Well, 10 is, I would say, the minimum number of customers that will give you the meaningful and diverse response and feedback for your business. So if you can find 100 who agree with you to give you feedback and optimize it for you, but given that you have to charge them, they should agree to be charged. We're not offering free consultation at this stage. So if you can, that's even better. Purpose is just find people who are willing, your ideal customers who are willing to pay, and they can benefit from our productized consulting version. So once we do that and we have everything, at this stage, I wanted to show you that we found 10 ICPs. How we found them, we go through conversion, sales and marketing, inbounds, outbounds. I will walk you through it, how to find them, how to reach out to them, how to create content that attract them. We have a dedicated module for all of it. Once we get to the stage, we're gonna collect feedback and we want to plan the platform, meaning creating the PRDs, creating the requirements that we need such and such platform. And then while your consulting business is generating revenue for you, because it is automated, you just produce a link to your customers, they just add their own customer and will produce data. So once we are there, we're going to design the platform and we're going to, again, collect from your customers and say, hey, we're creating this platform. It would even streamline your business. It would reduce your cost. Please give us feedback. And they always, so once you collect the feedback, you're going to iterate the design and walk you through it. It's such a good time to build a business and a startup right now. There are tools, amazing tools that I will introduce you to that would basically allow you to produce designs for softwares like a top tier designer. And I'm terrible at the design. I can't work with the Figma to basically build a software interface. But these tools, because they have guidelines and skills and all those plugins, you just need to have the direction and the vision for your business. And that's enough. If you can describe it, all these tools have guidelines that would definitely produce a very high quality business and platform for you. So once we have that, then we get to the design is confirmed, whether it's 100 pages or 200 pages. Now we get to the section that a lot of people actually quit because they think they're not qualified for this stage. Let me tell you one thing, my friends. We're living in an age that all you need to do in order to build a very complicated, profitable startup is basically 3 tools: GitHub, Cloud Code, or codecs. These are after design. So if you have that, if you just be able to work with these three and none of them require coding, like Cloud Code is just prompting. And at this stage, and it gets better and more powerful at stage. These tools would turn your platform designs that you have with it, it will turn it into a real platform. And we're going to leverage MCPs. I'll talk to you about that, how it works. And basically all the design tools, all the marketing tools that we will work with, all the academies, everything, they will have MCPs, which means that they can talk to different sections. So a feedback that we collect here would go back to our an idea coming to this stage can go back to our design, and we're gonna leverage these tools to basically build the platform. And once we have that, what we're gonna do, this is a startup. Now we have a platform, right? We have a platform. While the productized version is working, we're gonna onboard these 10 ICPs into this platform to help your business and idea. So now what we are doing is basically using the conversion, sales, and marketing to work and attract more people to our startup and generating revenue. And it would just accumulate, like you would see like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, and it just goes up because it's accumulating business. And this workflow, it has worked and served me so well, and I can't wait to bring that to you as well. And once we have that, once you have a business that's working, and my take would be, you know, almost all of my students in 6 weeks gets to 10K per month right away, because they're professionals, they have networks, and you know they have access to people that would actually take them on as serious business owners. Now, once we have that, there are two paths to it. First is that, let's say your earnings like a, you know, 20,000, 50,000, $100,000 a month. If you want to sell that business, I will help you to find business brokers who would take on your business and, you know, help you to sell it. And this is something that for a couple of startups that I do, I know that there are gaps in the market. So I build them within 6 to 8 weeks. I bring them, generate revenue, and I sell them. This is something I don't want it to work for a long time. So I would sell those businesses and generate revenue. But if there's something that you would genuinely interested, you want to scale it, you know, take it to the next level, get venture, that's where we have mastermind. So I'll walk you through the mastermind process. It's a different program that we have. We'll pair you with the best VCs in the world. You get the chance to learn pitching, you know, all the startup you know, processes like building, you know, pitch decks and going meeting investors and, you know, giving demo hackathons, all of that. So I'll walk you through it, that we will find the best curated mastermind programs for you and incubators all around the world. I would get you in so you could get help from even larger group of people, and we're always with you throughout the process. So this is something that we do all the time. And, you know, again, because it's a framework, it's a repeatable thing, you can do it all the time. Right now, I have my own Humanic startup, which is in a mastermind phase, and I have 2 businesses that I'm selling right now, exit, you know, strategy. So it is something that you can basically automate. And I would say maybe the first and second time you're doing it, it takes a little bit of time, because you need to kind of, you know, learn how to work with ICPs, how to message them, how to attract them. But once you get the hang of it, it's something that you can repeat again and again, and at the same time as well. For example, I have built and sold, interestingly, all my 7-figure businesses that I have developed so far are in legal industry. Okay, I'm no lawyer, I have no training. I've never been in the legal industry, any form of training. I'm a robotic engineer, but because I had that background and expertise, I knew how to transfer those skills into a world which have not been basically revolutionized at that time. These are examples that you can basically use. I don't want to get this, unnecessarily long, but I wanted to basically share you the framework. And again, this will morph into something even streamlined or more complicated depending on the businesses and the technologies that would emerge. And I can't wait to share that with you. Thank you so much. And let me know what you think. If you have questions, comments, please let me know. Thank you.